Hey guys, welcome back to Drop the Mic. We figured we would do drop in and do this little discussion for Ennio Morricone. I'm sitting here with one of my good friends, Chris Pawlak.
Hello, hello.
Or I should say he's dropping in through, what would you say, the phone, cellular phone call?
Yeah, we're going to talk over the phone about Ennio Morricone and his legacy for a little bit. Figured it would be a nice tribute, and then you can add that to the show however you see fit.
Yeah, definitely. So, first of all, how have you been, dude? It's been a while since we've had you on the show, but we talk. I think we talk pretty regularly since everything's went down.
Yeah, doing okay. Getting bounced around where I'm out of work and then I'm working and then out of work again. But I've been lucky enough to stay employed, just not actually at work.
Nice, very nice.
So I'm happy about that. I know a lot of people haven't been as lucky, and my heart definitely goes out to them. This is a very shitty situation and a shitty time.
Yeah, uncertain time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Make sure your listeners vote in November, and if they're not registered, please ask them to register.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very, very important election coming up.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, exactly. But please, if you guys aren't registered, please make sure that you register. It's easy. It only takes a few minutes. But everyone needs to get out and vote come November because this country really needs a change. Now we can talk about something that's a little less sad. But still
pretty sad.
Pretty sad. I think I told Susie the other day, it's like 2020 just keeps punching us in the dick.
Yeah.
And
every month something else is like gets worse somehow.
Yeah.
You think it's topped itself and nope. It's like, no, here you go. Like, I don't know. Roll the dice on Jumanji, I guess, or something.
I was sad to hear this, and he was 91 years old. That's a good life lived.
Yeah, that's a damn good run.
He unfortunately passed away from complications from a fall and breaking his leg, and if he hadn't have fallen, he could have had another few years. He could have had another decade. He was going pretty strong. So it's unfortunate, and it's sad that we won't get to hear another Ennio Morricone score in a film.
Was the last one that he actually did the Hateful Eight?
No, he had one more. He had some TV work, I believe, but he had one more. His last one was, I think, 2016. It was a movie called Correspondence. Ah, okay. It was from a director by the name of Giuseppe Tornatore. Mm-hmm. If I'm saying that right. He actually was probably his longest collaborator. His big movie, if a lot of people are familiar, is Cinema Paradiso. Ah, okay. Which is a movie that's near and dear to my heart because it's about a projectionist. But it's got a Morricone score, and that's probably his most famous film. But they collaborated on 13 movies. I think all of this guy's scores were done by Morricone.
That's insane. I know it's a similar situation with Sergio, right?
Yeah. He and Sergio Leone collaborated 6 times, but technically 7, because Morricone did the score for all of Sergio Leone's dollar westerns. He did the three Clint Eastwood Man with No Name movies, and then he did the Once Upon a Time in the West. He did Fistful of Dynamite, and then he did Once Upon a Time in America, and that would be the 6 scores that they collaborated on. But Sergio Leone actually produced and I think maybe even wrote a movie called My Name Is Nobody that Morricone did the score for. Leone didn't direct it, but he produced and possibly wrote it. I'm not sure about the writing, but My Name Is Nobody. Morricone did the score for that, so kind of 7 scores that he did for him, but really 6 legitimate Sergio Leone directed films that he scored.
I think I had read that they were like grew up together, like they went to school together.
Yeah, they were in elementary school together.
That's insane.
And they had a really fruitful collaboration for 20 years.
I think
25 years almost.
I also read a while ago that Sergio, obviously he wouldn't have any sound on his set, so he would just play Morricone's scores like as they were filming.
The cool thing about that was the first 2 movies, Fistful of Dollars, they didn't have the budget to really record the score. I think Morricone came in post-production to do them because they didn't really have a budget for an orchestra. That's why you got that distinctive score from them with the flutes and the whistles and the voices and the gunshots, the pistol or the whip cracks, the mouth harp. That's why you get all these weird instruments and pieces of music in that score. And then they immediately went in for a few dollars more so that he didn't have the score ready, or didn't have time to write a score for that film. But by the time they got around to doing The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the score was already done before they even started filming. And I think Morricone has remarked that that's why some of those scenes are really long, is because Leone was letting the music play out. So he shot everything that he needed so that this sequence could be 4 or 5 minutes long, because that's how long that piece of music was.
That's nuts.
And then, yeah, from then on, they definitely did it with Once Upon a Time in the West. Like all the music was already done, and then Leone kind of used the music as his basis for directing the scenes and how they were shot. Which is funny because I know that I think at one point in time, Eli Wallach, who's in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, he's the ugly, he plays Tuco. He had said, "Oh, if you had played that for me, then I would have, walked differently or ridden a horse differently if I had known that was the music behind it." But is that relationship, I would say, is probably his most famous collaborator, even though that wasn't his longest collaboration, or his he didn't have the numbers with Sergio Leone that he might have had with Tornatore or even Sergio Corbucci, who made a lot of Italian westerns. And I think he gets the shout out in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because that's one of the directors that DiCaprio works with.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is Corbucci. So he didn't make as many scores for Leone as he did with those guys, but when someone says Ennio Morricone, I immediately think of the Sergio Leone westerns.
Or even just the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right?
Yeah, and I would say by far, out of all the scores that he's done for the Italian westerns, whether they were for Sergio Leone or Corbucci, I would say that The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is probably his most iconic score.
Yeah.
And I even put it on yesterday. when I was home.
Do you have the vinyl?
Yeah, I have the vinyl.
Nice.
I have the vinyl, so I was listening to that, and then I put on the film a little bit later, just so I can watch that last act after they bomb the bridge. And it's like the last 30 or 40 minutes of the movie is... The score is perfect because it's got probably his two most... Beyond the title track, probably his two most famous tracks off the Good, the Bad, the Ugly soundtrack are Ecstasy of the Gold, which is when Tuco's running through the cemetery. And then my personal favorite on the soundtrack is the one that plays when they have the standoff. I believe it's called Il Triello. In Italian, it's the trio. And it's what plays over that 5-minute build up to the showdown that they have in the cemetery. And that's my personal favorite piece of music in that entire film, and probably my favorite scene in the film, because it builds and it builds, and the scene just starts with everyone in a super wide shot, and then it just, as the scene goes by and as the music keeps going, it moves into, medium shots and then close-ups and then ultra close-ups of their eyes and their hands above their gun, waiting. It's perfect. It's like a 5-minute track. So that scene of them just standing there staring at each other, it plays out for 5 minutes, and it's my all-time, or it's my favorite scene of that entire film.
No, yeah, that's an amazing scene. It's a great score overall.
That's, like I said, that's probably his most iconic score. At least spaghetti western score. I mean, he did a lot more music than just the spaghetti westerns.
Of course, yeah.
He had a good relationship with Brian De Palma. He scored 3 of his movies, one of which is The Untouchables, which is awesome. That's a good score. I was thinking about that when I heard that he had passed. And have you ever seen The Mission?
I don't think so.
Robert De Niro's in it, Jeremy Irons, Aidan Quinn, I believe. I think Liam Neeson even is in it.
What year was that?
It's from the 80s. It's 86 or 87.
Okay.
Like, amazing movie. It's really good. And Morricone did the score for that. Yeah, 86. So I'm pulling it up on the computer here just to verify everything. Yeah, De Niro, Irons, Aidan Quinn, Liam Neeson. Yeah, okay, he is in that. It's a movie about Jesuit priests in, oh god, I forget the country. Somewhere in South America. I want to say Paraguay. I'm not certain. It's been forever since I've seen that movie. And it's about these priests working with the tribe in, I believe, Paraguay. And then Portugal is pro-slavery, and they're trying to enslave the tribe's people, the indigenous population. And it's a great movie, but the score, the Ennio Morricone score for it is